Hello. Today, this video is specific to people who are caring for or are suffering from a concussion, especially right in the beginning. This is one area, and I know that when I've done research online, reading other people's blogs, it seems to be across the board. People with concussions don't do well with grocery shopping. It's just not. It's just, I don't know, it's just one of those. And there's on so many different levels. It's crowded, it's confusing, the lights are really bright. The refrigerator section, so if you have one, avoid this area. This refrigerator section, the electricity is so loud and it would be piercing and I could feel it. It was painful, and with the lights and everything, it was just, So don't go to a store, get somebody else to go, grocerygateway.com, whatever you need to do, have your food delivered. Or do coping mechanisms. So, for example, find a 24-hour grocery store and shop, 6 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody there. Not so bad. I found I couldn't do things like count change, debit, or self-checkout. Those were things that was just too much for me. So, well, it depends. If I was doing a big shop, I couldn't do self-checkout. I would get anxiety and it was just too confusing or whatever, and I was so slow, So that's the thing with when you're right in the beginning of a concussion, and I was pretty bad. So I had a really bad setback and I deteriorated really bad, and I've bounced back. So now I actually don't mind grocery shopping. I even go on Saturday afternoon and gun it by myself. I debit, I'm good. I have to concentrate for sure and watch the lights and stuff, but I'm good. But man, back in the beginning, so this will give you hope, okay? It was so bad. The handicap scooters? Well, I was too confused to drive one, but my father-in-law, because he couldn't walk at the time very long, so he used to drive it, and if he had to put it in reverse, it beeped, and the beep of that thing would have me doubled over, grabbing my ear, and I looked like I was autistic, severely. Like, it was that bad. I was just, shut me off. And now I don't even think I'd notice if somebody had it backwards. You know what I'm saying? So there's been a ton of improvements. So things that helped me was I started doing more frequent smaller shops because they were less overwhelming for me. I started meal planning so that I could range for meals that were easy to shop for and snacks and stuff. So I had everything I needed at home, maybe even a little bit more than I should have. I risked having too much than too little so that I could avoid going to the store, which meant I kept a lot of non-perishables in the home. That was really important. I started going to smaller stores. Now, I used to have my favorite big store because I could get everything there, and that's where I used to shop before my injury, but then after the concussion, I couldn't handle that store anymore. I found a tiny little grocery store, so I started meal planning around their small inventory, and I just made adjustments because that was less painful for me. And again, I would go right when it opened, whenever that was, as early as possible. So then that way I was the first customer in, the first customer out, and on the deadest day of the week. And I did that like a religion. And now it's not even, I go when I need to go, and I don't even, and I go back to my normal store, my big store, and I'm a champ. You know what I mean? No problems. Ever. Even the electricity, I'm sensitive to it, I'm aware of it, but it doesn't do the same, the lights are bright or whatever, but I'm not suffering. I'm aware, I'm not comfortable, but I'm not suffering. So that took 2 years. It's almost 2 years since my injury, and maybe a year and a half. So it's taken me that long to be okay. But I actually just noticed it the other day. I wanted to do a shop to get it out of the way, but it was Saturday at noon. Like, stupid, right? But I just needed to get it out of the way because I didn't want to have to go, on another day. So I went in and I had to go alone. And it was a big shop. It was a big shop. And I did it without a problem. The place was busy and packed. I didn't get annoyed once. I didn't have to get overwhelmed. Sometimes in a shop, like you'd be walking on the main aisle and it was just too many colors or stuff, and I'd want to like barf, literally. So I'd have to turn the cart into an inner aisle that was dead and just kind of catch my bearing and whatever. Your eyes, watch where you look. Because remember, like when you see lots of colors lined up or different depths of things, right when your concussion is early, like that stuff trips you out. It's like you're on, you know, a psychogenic or something. That's what it feels like when you're in a grocery store and it's like, holy, too many colors, too many lights, too many movement, people moving in front of you. If you have a vestibular problem, which I do, that will affect your balance and your equilibrium. And if you're studying, if you have vertigo, that's pretty shitty too. The cart will help you. I find the cart is like a nice little protector, and it helps you hang on. And also you could lean when you're really tired. So I found that helpful. But yeah, and cash registers. What I would do, because my father-in-law didn't really have the health to shop, or my husband, because they're disabled as well. So I go in and I do the shop, and then when I'm ready, I text them, and one of them would come in and pay. And so I wouldn't have to do the debit or count change. And I still can't count change at all. Like I can't, I'm very bad with, and I was never good at math, but now it's like I've got no math. So I just debit everything. Even Tim Hortons cup of coffee, unless I'm planning on giving without asking for change, I debit everything. And that helps. So yeah, so just take your time, small stores, small shops, slow times. You got to just work around your disability, and you'll see that you're able to cope, and you're okay. And like 2 years and a half later, and I love grocery shopping. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. I don't love grocery shopping, but just because I'm lazy, you know what I mean? Not because it's all that torturous. So it gets better. This is my get better with a concussion video.